Over the past 30 days, I have applied to more than 100 positions using two almost identical resumes to determine what kind of application actually convinces a recruiter to invite you to an interview. This is shocking. I mean, I knew the job market was bad, but that a 96% rejection rate. If this is your application strategy, please just stop. You can change the way you send out applications, and you should. Let's get into it. My experiment was quite simple. I applied to 100 positions using the Easy Apply button on LinkedIn. I wanted to see how many interviews I could get. I made sure that the experience listed in the CV suited the positions that I applied for. And I spent a maximum of around 5 minutes on each of these applications. Then I took 10 of the exact same jobs and applied with the same CV over the company's website. I only made minor changes to the CVs, like changing the order of the bullets to put those bullets with the most relevance for each position to the top. I added a cover letter. I also added salary expectation as well as my earliest possible start date. I spent around 30 to 60 minutes on each of these applications. Now, I didn't expect the results to be so different, but they were. I applied for positions both in the US and in Germany. I dropped big names like Siemens and Amazon, indicated 5+ years of experience, had a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, fluency in English and German, relevant certifications, all of that jazz. It was a very solid resume. Now, we all know that the job market at the moment is really tough and it's not easy to land an interview at all. But guess how many interviews I got by sending out those 100 applications via Easy Apply? One immediate interview invite. One other company said that it looks like it could be a good fit, and they just wanted to make sure that I'm aware that it required relocation. So that one could have potentially also converted. So let's give it the benefit of the doubt, and let's say that this would have also counted towards the interview invites. That makes out of 100 applications sent via Easy Apply via LinkedIn, 2 interview invites, so a 2% interview rate. The other 96 companies had all sent either immediate rejections or rejection emails over the course of several days. That is a 96% rejection rate. This is shocking. I mean, I knew the job market was bad, but that. Now let's move on to the other side of the experiment. Remember, I used the exact same template, work experience, certifications, degrees, language fluency, everything was the same except for the order of the bullets. But of course, I included a tailored cover letter and I applied via the company's website. The results? After 30 days, I received a staggering 6 interview invites. That's a 60% interview rate compared to a 2% interview rate. So something becomes really clear. Applying in masses through Easy Apply on LinkedIn, Indeed, or any other kind of third-party platform is a waste of time. If this is your application strategy, please just stop. On the flip side, you can change the way you send out applications, and you should. Tailoring your CV and applying through companies' websites still wins. And it makes sense. Easy Apply is like the Tinder of job hunting. It's low friction, high volume, and it easily ends up in a left swipe by the recruiters because they get flooded with people that have not even read the job description. A company assumes that if you're willing to spend some time and effort by browsing on their website and actually putting some time and effort into that application, that you are genuinely interested in working in that job and not just in any job. They don't actually care if this is true or not because obviously you're just applying for jobs so you can get salary so you can actually put food in your mouth, but let's forget about that for now. And what you write in that cover letter or in your application matters big time. I don't just repeat all of my experience that I put in the CV or telling them why I'm such a great candidate. Instead, for these applications, I went the extra mile. I researched the company's websites, their socials, any kind of blog posts or articles that they had published. I looked for current Google news from that company to identify current challenges that they're facing, as well as goals and achievements that they're trying to get at. In my cover letter, I then didn't start with this generic, I saw the job post and I thought it fits very well and it sounds very interesting and I think I'm a great candidate, so please hire me. But instead, from the very first sentence on, I say how I can add value to that company, how I can help them tackle the challenges that I have researched beforehand, and how I've actually proven that through my previous track record in my previous jobs or during my studies. Because you have to keep in mind, right now we're seeing an employer's market where companies hold more power. It's not like back in the days where companies were desperately seeking for skilled workers and would happily take on any kind of person that walked into their office with a degree. Don't get me wrong, companies are still looking for skilled workers, just a new type of worker. They also call it the new collar workers. These are people that can actually showcase their experience and skills and the actual value that they can add to a company instead of just listing and boasting about their certifications and credentials that they gathered over the years. And no, it's not necessarily fair that you spend years and years of getting a really good education and thousands of dollars and dedicated your time to gain actual experience within a company just to now be ignored by the job market completely. But you can moan about it or you can adapt and adjust with the job market. Because as you can see, there is something that you can do and that actually works, and that is quality over quantity, putting in the time and effort to tailor your CV, tailor your application, and actually researching that company. How do you do this? First, look for a few jobs that you would actually like to apply for and that you could genuinely see yourself working in for a couple of months or a couple of years. Then, this is my approach to researching a company. You can set yourself a timer for 30 to 40 minutes just to time box it and not spend hours on researching a company, which then is also going to be a waste of time and not very efficient. Then, as I said, go on the company's website, on their blog posts, on their socials, on Google News, anything you can really find about them. Watch some speeches that the CEO has given in the past and really take notes. Write down what are the main challenges that they're facing, what are the main goals that they have, where are they kind of wanting to take that company within the next 5 to 10 years. Then, behind each challenge or goal that you've written down, choose another color and write down how you could actually contribute to tackling this problem or achieving this goal. That sounds a bit abstract. But for example, there are many companies out there right now that are buying smaller AI startups because they need to stay competitive and stay ahead. The challenge here is that they need to integrate these startups into their existing structures. Now, if one of your personal strengths, for example, is strategic, diplomatic communication, then you can mention in your cover letter that you will mediate and translate between these teams to actually bring them together and make the integration more smoothly. And if you want to go even a step further, you could attach some slides to your application to showcase exactly how you would approach this. So for example, you could say that in the first day, you would set up a workshop with team A to find out about their frustrations, come up with solutions, and so on. Another thing that I did when I applied for my first position coming out of my master's studies, I attached a slide deck where I basically had all of my peer reviews listed. So we had a system during my master's where for each group work, whether we wanted to or not, we would receive peer reviews. And I screenshotted them, made kind of like an avatar for each person, put it on a slide, and that was already a lot of credibility added to what I said in the cover letter my strengths were. Now, this way, you've not only increased your chances of getting invited to an interview drastically because you're standing out from other applicants, but you also prepared halfway for the interview already, which will make you feel more confident and more relaxed once you actually get invited to the interview. If you want more guidance on how to figure out your own personal strengths and your professional positioning in the job market, you can book a free discovery call with me. I'll put the link down below in the description. So to sum it up, this experiment showed very clearly, stop mass applying. Stop using LinkedIn easy apply buttons. It feels like you're working hard, but you're actually just spinning your wheels. Instead, pick a few positions that you are actually interested in, research the company, tailor your CV, write a cover letter, and apply through the company's website. You might think that this is less efficient and you're wasting time, but in reality, there's a difference between being efficient and being effective. Yes, you're efficient sending out over 100 applications via easy apply within a week, but it's not effective if you end up getting 96 rejections. Effectiveness is more important than efficiency. You can take back a bit of control of finding a job in this employer's job market by applying with intent and purposefully stand out from other applicants. Now, let me know in the comments what you think, and thanks so much for watching.